Hi, before we get started today, a quick announcement. The second annual Canadian Advisor Tech Expo is being put on by the Financial Planning Association of Canada this year on March 14th to 17th. If you are a Canadian financial advisor or in management or an executive or just interested in what advisor technology is out there, I highly recommend you sign up. Tickets are on sale at advisortechexpo.ca. And now on to today's show. Hello and welcome to Fintech Impact. I'm your host, Jason Pereira. Today on the show, I have Hemant, CEO of Arcons Technology. Arcons Technology is a suite of software targeting RIAs and advisors in the US, specifically helping them with various cloud solutions along the lines of billing, CRM, reporting, trading, and client portals. And with that, here's my interview with Hemant. Hemant, thank you for taking the time today.
Thank you, Jason.
So Hemant Moore of Arcons Technology. Tell us about Arcons.
Hi. So Arcons was founded almost more than 20 years ago in 1998. And we started our enterprise helping RIAs. And the initial product that we offered was related to billing. The past 15 plus years, we have been adding more and more offerings to these sets of RIAs that we have been helping. And overall, now we have a suite of products which is encompassing billing, reporting, client portals, advisor portal, trading, onboarding, and CRM. The beauty of Arcons offerings is that we allow firms to come to us with customization requests, and we are able to offer specific new features for firms that will be like a white glove service. That means they can get the exact workflow that they need to run their business in the most effective manner. And that differentiates us from other providers, such that most other providers are not willing to customize their solution. They are not willing to turn around and provide a new version of their software in a matter of days. And we are able to do that. And besides that, our firm has a very good reputation in terms of client service. We provide excellent support. We are always willing to brainstorm what new features could be added to make people's lives easier, their workflows better, and errors could be eliminated, duplicate data could be eliminated. So that's in a nutshell what Arcons is all about.
So you already went into the history a little bit, but tell me about the origin of the company. Like what was the start? Where was the opportunity that you saw and how did this come about?
So both the co-founders are from Advent. We started our careers in early 90s in Advent Software, which was a smaller company then. It was a pre-IPO company. And we provided services to Advent for their trading solution, their portfolio management solution building, and so on. And in 98, when we started our own company, we were providing consulting services to firms, thereby understanding gaps in market, thereby understanding what areas we could provide value. And in about 2007 or thereabouts, we discovered that billing was a big gap, and we started filling that gap. We started adding features for making billing, invoicing, revenue sharing a very easy application for firms, especially for firms with thousands of accounts and hundreds of billing schedules and tens of advisors and brokers. And from that point, we grew. We started adding a trading solution. We started adding reporting solutions. So the important thing about reporting is that every firm likes to have their own sets of reports because they believe that that is their special sauce. That is the way they distinguish themselves, that the analysis that they use or the graphics or the charts or the data tables that they show to their end clients is what they think distinguishes them from other financial advisors. And it's very difficult and tedious if they're doing it manually. And it's very hard for firms to find vendors who can give them the exact way the reports are generated. And that's where we come in. We provide a service whereby we can customize the report output to match exactly what the advisors need. And that makes them extremely happy.
So let's touch upon, first off, what is covered in this suite. You mentioned a bunch of stuff. So can you talk about the core components of them and how they interact?
Yeah. So our service is a software as a service platform, which is hosted on Azure. And The service has one login, which can be a single sign-on from your current login provider or Google or Facebook or anything of that sort. And once you log into a suite of services, you could do all the things you do to run your business. So, for example, you could do portfolio management, you could do trading, you could do reporting, you could do CRM, and everything works off of the same common database. So there is no data integration needed between one app and the other. So you just go into our website, either on your phone or tablet or computer, and you're ready for business.
You've made a very big point of talking about the degree of customization you can support and workflow process. Can you give me an example of a robust workflow process that you help build for a client?
Sure. So I'll give you a simple example just from, let's say, a year ago. We have a client. They are a big Wall Street firm managing about $38 billion. And they had a firm build a workflow system for them about 15 or so years ago. And that system was not being maintained by that vendor. They had kind of gone either out of business or they had become very difficult to reach. So this client came to us and they said, we need to have a solution which talks to our portfolio management system as well as to our trading system and allows 15 people in our firm to create and manage a workflow. So, for example, when new clients come in, new accounts have to be opened, trading restrictions have to be put in, cash has to be deployed, or when tax loss harvesting happens, then we want to repurchase the same assets which are sold for tax loss. So they wanted a comprehensive system which multiple people could use, which could talk to their which could talk to their trading and portfolio management system and track documentation for each request, track the status for each request. And we said, okay, we'll work on it. And then over a period of 6 weeks, we built the system from scratch and it is deployed for them for the past year or so. All 10 to 12 users are using it and they're all very happy.
Well, I think if my systems did all that, I'd be very happy too. So that's a very simple, straightforward way of doing it. So, okay. So you're a SaaS platform, you do all this stuff and you basically do all this integration, which you package for yourself on behalf of clients. The next question I have for you is more so talking about what it's like to engage with you. Like what is the onboarding look like? Is there a discovery process where you help them with workflow or is that something they come back to you with afterwards?
Yeah. So the process is very simple. We can be very agile. So we either work with the firm to discover the overall solution, or we also sometimes say, let us work with you in a step-by-step process where we handle your biggest pain first, and then we keep adding on and make it a continuous improvement process over longer term. And that has worked very well because it establishes trust in the beginning and it allows both the companies to figure out how we work with each other. And with that out of the way, it's very easy to keep collaborating and adding more and more things as time goes on. In general, we could give people a SOW, like a statement of work saying, this is what we'll deliver, and this is how much time it will take, this is how much it will cost. And once we get an agreement on that, we have a weekly check-in whereby we show people what was done, how it looks. They can get access to that solution and they can keep playing with it while it's being developed. That way they know that if we are going off the track, they know it right away so that we can make mid-course corrections and we don't stray from their requirements too much before a corrective action is employed. And that seems to have gone pretty well in the past decade or so. Once the original system is built, then they can play with it. They can have user acceptance testing. We also create documentation and videos of their use cases. We train their end users. And once the initial version is done, then we work on the next version based on what enhancements are needed. And the cycle repeats.
Yeah, one would think it would be constantly iterative. So you offer your own suite. Tell me, do you actually integrate with anyone else, or is it solely kind of, you take what we have, or that's it, or is it simply, or is it somewhere in between where, okay, we'll work with others, but this is just not going to integrate as well?
Oh, we provide overall solution, which means that whatever the firm needs is what we'll give them. Sometimes it needs them to integrate with a specific set of files. Those files are coming in from some file system or FTP or from some API. Sometimes we have to build a specific API or integrate with a specific API. Sometimes it's the database that is being employed, which could be Oracle, SQL Server, or Sybase, or something of that sort, that we directly have to talk to in order to get the specific data, but we have to transform it before utilizing it. So all of those integration mechanisms are available. We also have some integrations with Microsoft Dynamics or Salesforce. We have integrations with many custodians like Schwab, TD Ameritrade, Fidelity Pershing, and so on. So there is no end to the configurations and the permutations that people use. And whatever our firms or prospects ask for, we are always willing to oblige.
Good. So this is what you currently have on the platform. I'm curious, is there any product expansion plan that you can speak of?
Yeah, we are constantly innovating. So our products, for example, we are currently adding a support for Power BI, which means that all the data in our system can be easily analyzed by any business user. Or we just recently added cryptocurrency billing in our billing suite. So we are constantly enhancing our system. The couple of things I just mentioned are bigger items, but in smaller items, we are constantly innovating in terms of providing different exports of data or providing different functionalities within any particular screen. We analyze the patterns of usage of users and say, hey, we noticed that you did these 5 steps to come up with this particular result. What if we provide this new screen which may reduce the 5 steps to 1 step? So those kinds of innovations are always happening.
So yeah, I mean, you're going to take in so much learning from your different customers, and anything that one needs, guaranteed somebody else needs something similar. So it makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
So basically, at the end of the day, you're out there competing with a number of other suites and other softwares, but you're really kind of differentiating. You're differentiating on 2 fronts. One is the customization. Second, clearly, is the service and the white glove, like you're saying. So talk to me about clients and the transformational work you've done with them. Like, give me a use case of not just the workflow, but someone who was maybe struggling or dealing with a bunch of stuff that decided to opt in with you, and that what kind of upside did they see in their business because of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Here is one example, which is a little bit interesting and funny. So we had a firm who came to us saying they had 3 billing personnel, 3 ladies who did billing, who had not had a single vacation day for 15 years. And the reason for that was they had 18,000 accounts, which they split into batches of 6,000, and they would bill the 18,000 accounts every quarter. So 6,000 every month. So every month they were billing. And a lot of the work was being done manually, because after they billed, they had about 40 brokers and advisors. They had to split the revenue. And these brokers and advisors were getting paid based on this manual work these 3 ladies were doing. And so after we deployed the billing solution, and automatically they could do billing for all 18,000 accounts just with one button click in about 3 to 4 hours, they were just overjoyed, and they invited us to their conference, where in front of 500 people, a couple of the advisors who were related, who were husband and wife, they kissed me in that conference in front of everybody, because they were so happy that they got paid on time, they got paid correctly, and that was a life-changing event for them.
Yeah, I'd say that there's probably no greater endorsement the work you did was good, other than getting kissed. I mean, unless, of course, it's a Godfather thing and it's the kiss of death, but that is pretty remarkable, I must say. And I just, I shudder. The second you said they hadn't been on vacation for 15 years, I thought to myself, I hope those 3 are paid a ridiculous sum, because that is unbelievable. So let's think about that. So it's 3 full-time equivalent bodies, right? So we got 3. I'm going to do some math on the spot here to talk about productivity gain and sell you for this. So we're talking about, 40-hour work week. Let's call it 50 weeks a year. That's 3. That's over 6,000 labor hours per year. And meanwhile, you got this down to 3 hours inside of every quarter, was it?
That is true. And that included not only billing calculation and revenue sharing, but also creating really good invoices that could be emailed automatically to all of those 18,000 accounts. So it was a big change in their workflow.
Yeah. And not just, it's funny. It's not just a change in the workflow. It's again, we're talking about 12 hours of processing time versus the 6,000, just the invoicing piece. Never mind the rest of it. You're probably you're probably about talking over 10,000 labor hours brought down to 12. Like the ROI on that is just stunning. So yeah, great story. And a wonderful story for anyone who's listening to think about the power of automation and repetitive tasks. My goodness, talking about an improvement. So before we wrap up, there's 3 questions I ask everybody to end on a positive note. First question I have for you is, if you had one wish for something can change in your company or the industry as a whole, what would it be?
That is a hard question, but let me take a crack at it. Nowadays,
no one ever gets it right off the bat. Everybody's always thinking about it. So it's all right.
The problem we are facing nowadays is there's a great upheaval in technology and things are changing rapidly, which is producing so many opportunities for people, but also it's increasing their the amount of hours they put in on a daily basis, because the more automation or more avenues for automation there are, the more things people have to remember to do. So for example, the social media is so beautiful, people can keep in touch, but now firms have to make sure that their marketing plans are properly created so that they are consistently put on social media. So that means your clients need to see a uniform voice. The clients need to get updates from your firm. Clients also see how other firms are doing their work. Therefore, your firm has to be as efficient so that you are perceived as cutting-edge firm. So the one thing that we could change would be if there was a way that all these technologies could work together using some common API. That would be amazing, but it's easier said than done.
That's a dream.
I've been
it's a wonderful dream.
For 30 years, and it's not happened. And I don't know how it will happen, but with the common APIs taking a lot of people's thought processes, I think it could happen.
Well, you're more optimistic than I am. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of money being made by them not being common, and that's not a conspiracy theory. It's just incentives, right? Where's the incentive? The incentive is it would reduce costs and make things easier, but this incentive is a bunch of people make a lot less money. So it is what it is. Second question for you: what's been the hardest challenge again the company to where it is today?
I think for us, we love building technology. We love making our clients smile. We love them to kiss us on the cheek in front of 500 people, which means that we are so focused on building things. We don't do enough sales and marketing. And that has been our biggest challenge. We have really good software and service, and our clients that are our clients love us for it. But there are literally thousands of other firms who are not our clients who don't know about what we do and how we do it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to be helping with that solution. So excellent. And last question I have for you is, what keeps you getting out of bed every morning to keep on fighting the good fight that is entrepreneurship and building this business?
Oh, that is actually a very easy question. Every day we get requests through emails or phone calls, and each request makes us want to rise up to the occasion and provide that product or service and get another happy client in our roster of clients. And so there's no joy similar to making somebody happy with your efforts. So I think that's it for
Excellent.
us.
Yeah, good purpose. So thank you very much. So yes, Hemant, thank you very much. Very much appreciate you taking the time to come on today.
Thank you, Jason.
So that was my interview with Hemant Moore of Arcons Technology. Hope you enjoyed that. And as always, if you enjoyed this podcast, please review on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever your podcasts. And until next time, take care.
This podcast was brought to you by Woodgate Financial, an award-winning financial planning firm catering to high net worth individuals and their families. To learn more, go to woodgate.com. You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, or find more episodes at jasonpereira.com.